So today we're going to be continuing to take a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are on episode 58 of the series, and in the last episode, a good amount of stuff happened. We saw this war in Central Asia between the terrorists, it's still going, and even China hopped onto it, invading this country, and, well, they know something's, wrong with this country right here. A country united over here in Central Asia. I mean, yeah, that's Central Asia. That sure is Central Asia. Central Africa. Russia took over this country right here. Alberta got its independence from Alaska, and with the Arizona Union, they both got the Washington. They split Washington in half, and then we saw these guys running a parallelogram alliance. Central America was divided, and these guys got a referendum. Well, not a referendum, but they had an election between a pro-Arizona candidate and an anti-Arizona candidate. And the anti won and created an alliance with them, Guyana, and Brazil. I guess Brasilia. But anyways, if you guys enjoy my videos, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to reach 900 before the end of the month. Also, by the time you are hearing this, an announcement might already be up. I'm not entirely sure though. Anyways, let's go ahead and start today's video. Let's start with some nukes, some nuclear weapons updates. So I've counted, and currently the world has around 78 nukes. And it's probably not exactly that, but anyways, let's just go ahead and let's just go ahead and start our process. So let's just start over here in the Arizona Union, and let's see how much they get. They go from 1 to 5, so they did gain a good amount of nuclear weapons, but they're still in their starting stage of it. And honestly, it is going pretty fast for the record that they're at right now. But anyways, let's go ahead and go over to the Southern French Union. They go from 21 to 27, which is a 6 gain, and now they're going a little slower than normal. However, it is important to note that the Southern French Union has the best nuclear weapons in the world. They have the most range. They just have good nuclear weapons. Anyways, let's go over to Egypt. They go from 7 to 14, and we can see that now nuclear weapons are really starting to ramp up as the Arabian Union goes from 17 to 31 nuclear weapons. That is a huge boost, and honestly really good for them. The North Indian Federation goes from 25 and 4 to 42 and 11. Ethiopia goes from 4 nuclear weapons from the North Indian Federation to 6 nuclear weapons. And, well, where did the other 4 go? I mean, I can't. I'm horrible. Where's the other amount of nukes? Well, there's 3 in this Arabian country right here, and 2 in this Sudanese country. So the Red Sea is really just becoming a hotspot for nuclear weapons. All countries that border the Mediterranean Sea either have nuclear weapons stationed in them or nuclear weapons of themselves, which is a pretty crazy thought. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at China. So China goes from 7 to 16, a pretty good gain. Anyways, one more country is going to get nuclear weapons this round, this episode, and that's gonna actually be the Bolivians. So the Bolivians automatically get 2 nuclear weapons. They start making their own nuclear supply, and a lot. It just seems like these countries and countries and countries are starting to just randomly start making nuclear weapons. But it probably mostly will stop here. There might be still some countries, whether that be in Europe or maybe even in Asia still, or maybe even in the Americas, who will still get nuclear weapons, maybe stationing them or making them of their own, but not as many as, well, this pace is going. But obviously, there is way more than 100 nukes now. I'd say close to 120, maybe even 130. Countries like the Arabian Union almost doubled their whole entire supply, and well, this is going crazy. Anyways, let's get off of the nuclear layer and let's go ahead and go somewhere else, which is this dark cyan, whatever. This is a very large country. It's a very long country, and well, it is very unstable. It's starting to get more unstable, as it's already in orange here, but it does turn into a red rapidly, and when that happens, an all-out civil war happens. Now, if you don't remember, this whole thing used to be green, What is that? This whole thing used to be green. However, it had a civil war and is no longer green anymore. But a large amount of rebels over here in this area identify themselves as the old country and take about half of this country now. It takes the coastline, but this is a very like important part. It does have parts of Lake Baikal, which are pretty important to this country and probably might be more important than the coastline. However, the coastline is the coastline, and that means that the coastline is the coastline, which is really good because it's the coastline. But yeah, so the Dark Shine country is they're still not happy about this, of course. This is half their country. This is their coastline, and there's not much they can do about it though, as they were already turning unstable, and this definitely has a popular vote which within this area. And if needed, civilians might rise to start, well, also helping the military. And well, obviously that's not gonna go well, as they're without the civilians, they're already doing awesome. And they push into this region, and yeah, they're just doing really good. From here, they're gonna go ahead and make a peace treaty. So in this peace treaty, two major things happen, which the first major thing is, well, this new country, this green country, will be rebirthed out of this region, while a new kind of dark pink country exists right here. This is just a independent country. It doesn't even have a military. However, it's just sitting here. It's not very populated. It has two major cities, surprisingly, and this one is kind of, I don't know. The capital of this country will be right here, while the capital of the green country will be right here. As I'm pretty sure that was the old capital. Maybe it was up here. I don't really remember. I mean, I'm pretty sure the old capital was like somewhere over here, but this country existed, and then the green team was pushed over here, and then there was a pink country over here, and it was very bad. Now let's move on to Europe, with stuff that really hasn't been happening over here the last like 3, 4, 5 episodes. Specifically to the Southern French Union, who is trying to expand their influence. They already have an influence over all of Western Europe, however, they also want to expand over here in Eastern Europe and maybe even to Scandinavia. So what they're going to do is they're going to create an economical alliance. So it will be the Triangle Economical Alliance with them, the Gold Country, Sweden, their buddies in the North Italian. I was about to say the Northern Federation, but the North Italians, and this little Balkan slash like what is this Hungarian country right here. So they all form this economical alliance. They're planning to add countries like Russia. They're planning to add countries like Ukraine, the Lime Team. They want to add these countries so they can have a peaceful future. Let's go ahead and move over here to, well, the Parallelogram Alliance, and they have just a bunch of cool looking countries. Like this this alliance has a bunch of cool looking countries. It has Arizona, has whatever this is. This just looks cool. It's Texas, this, and it just looks cool, and it's about to get better. As well, they are expanding. Once again, I guess, a duo is forming between Alberta and Arizona, the two A countries slash provinces slash states. But yeah, they will start invading into this orange country, of course. And this orange country literally hasn't done anything since it's got its independence in like episode 37. It hasn't done anything. Not even a single thing in diplomatic, uh, like, in diplomacy in the world. Not a single thing. They probably have, but I just haven't covered it. But yeah, it just doesn't go well for them. I mean, they're against like, well, fifth strongest country in the world, and then also a rising, I guess, like a regional power. Even though there's a lot of regional powers in this region, because it's a region. I guess a continental power, but they start pushing into this country and get close to the capital very quickly. And they start closing in from the northern areas as well. The Arizonans aren't really focused on the war, they're more focused on their own, like, diplomatic relations and trying to, like, fix some of the countries they've wronged in the past. But mostly it's just this red country who's doing everything, as they even capture the city on the border and take the rest of this area right here, making sure that, what even is this? Is this, like, Montana? Anyways, we could see them closing in on the capital, where they do need a little bit of assistance from the Arizonans. However, they don't need too much, as they just take the capital. They siege it and start taking a lot of land very rapidly. They get to this major city, and then officially these guys are gonna go ahead and surrender. So let's go ahead and take a look at this peace treaty. So in this peace treaty, we can see that this area over here in like the western area of this country was taken by the Arizonans as they want to just take a little bit of land. I mean, they did do a little bit in this war. However, Alberta did the most amount and got a large amount of area in the northern areas of this Montanan area, taking pretty much the whole Montana country. Now, what will we do with the rest of this? Well, honestly, I have no clue. I was thinking of giving it to like the pink team, but that would look horrible. Obviously, I'm not giving it to you, and I'm not giving it to you because it's bad. So what they're gonna do is they're actually just gonna make this like they're gonna switch their government into a parallelogram aligned government, and I gotta fix this too. There, yeah. But yeah, so this is just they're really just expanding their alliance here, as you can see. And for the final event in today's video, let's go ahead and look at Central Asia, this gold country. This gold country literally barely has ever done anything ever. They have only like helped invading like I think like an Azerbaijan country over here, and they've also like they got sprouted out of that country. That sounds weird, but like this is like this is a place that real barely anything has happened in the world. And well, that's not good because if you're a place that has nothing happen to you, that's not good because something bad's about to happen to you. A large area on the Turkmenistan border, a blue area, and a very appealing area it looks, takes a lot of land as they start to rebel out of the gold country. Their goal is basically just to take control of all of these areas and make sure that the gold country doesn't like get any bigger than it already is. And the only place it's literally ever expanded is over here, and they've done like tiny expansions, like that's like the progression of it. So yeah, there's really not much. Yeah, they invaded like a purple country in this region, which literally everybody did, I guess. So not that special. The blue team is doing wonders in this war. They're doing very good. They take all of this area and officially take all the southern area of this country. Now they're starting to focus on the east, where there is a lot of rural areas and a lot of like easy areas just to take, and to make sure that once again this country cannot get big. This isn't really been like funded by like the North Indian Federation or the Arabian Union or anybody in the world. This is just its own belly, and people like wondering why this is just here. It's just a rebellion that has no cause really. The gold team will push back, however, it's like by not much. At this point, a peace treaty is agreed upon. So in the peace treaty, the gold team gets absolutely wrecked as two new countries, an orange and then a blue, come out of this gold country, and they got completely like yeah, it's not good. It's not good for them. City right there. Top file provinces probably not because I have horrible placement, right? Oh, it actually does. I am surprised. Of course, that will be the capital. I don't know why there's not a city there anyway. And the capital of this blue country will be on the coastline right here. And well, we can see that what is going on? Why am I messing this up? This country got wrecked. But anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, by the way, 900 before the end of the month. But subscribe, like whatever you want to do. I don't really care if you don't do that, but actually I kind of do because I want 900 subscribers before the end of the month. But anyways, goodbye.